This Friday, August 2nd, MLB Betting Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with promo code MLB SGPN to claim your first deposit bonus offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure that promo code MLB SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has the best AI picks and projections, and their football models are almost live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Thursday, early evening, here to get into the Friday betting card for the MLB 15-game schedule. We do have lines for 14 of the 15 games for Friday, so definitely excited to get into the card to get the weekend series started. But joining me here to help me break everything down happening on the diamond, I got my guy here with me. It's Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Munaf? Good to see you. First time back since your vacation. How was it? Everything good?
Yeah, everything was good. It was a little hot, but I got through it. It was a good time, and glad to be back, man. Ready to grind out the month of August. I know obviously we have football starting, of course, and
you're watching the Hall of Fame game tonight?
Oh, my Texans are in action, so I definitely got to tune in for sure. We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
I love it. I love it because I remember last year you were on my pod and we talked about we were like, yeah, you guys are gonna be a little better. I don't think we expected last season though, but hell yeah, man! I can't wait. Football's back.
Yeah, football is officially back. Before we know it, that the playoffs will start for the MLB, honestly, because it just flies by when we have football going on as well. But hey, we're still gonna be here to grind out the diamond and the dirt. But still a lot to be determined, right? In the both American and National League. Some of these division races are tightening up as well. I know we mentioned obviously the AL East. The AL West is gonna be fun to watch down the stretch. 3 teams separated by 4.5 games. NL Central tightening up a little bit as well. And don't look now, Padres and the Diamondbacks only 5 games behind the LA Dodgers. So great to see these races that are still going to be interesting and a lot of meaningful baseball left to be played. We'll get into all that, of course, here. And D-Rock, let's just kick it off here, man. A lot of games to get through here on the Friday schedule. We'll start it off on Friday afternoon, as we usually do. We've got the Chicago Cubs at their home field at Wrigley Field. They will be hosting the St. Louis Cardinals in this game. It will be Eric Fenny making his first start for the St. Louis Cardinals, and it will be Javier Assad taking the mound here for the Chicago Cubs here. Cardinals are a -112 road favorite as it stands right now, -108 for the Chicago Cubs as a home team. Total is set at 7.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Cardinals and Cubs?
Yeah, I only made the Cubs a -110 favorite here with Javier Assad. He has been good at home, but he doesn't usually go long into games, regardless of how good he's going. Doesn't really give you too much length. Too up and down for me to really have any confidence in him. And we all know how bad their offense has been. So, and on the other side, you mentioned Eric Fetty. Excited to see him in a different uniform and that he actually has a competent offense behind him this time. But, he's been good in the month of July. He's only given up more than 2 runs one time this whole month. So now he's going to get some run support with the Cardinals. And I think he'll be actually have a good second half of the season. So I'm going to be on the Cardinals here. Despite my numbers, I do think the Cardinals are the better team. I think offensively, they have the better lineup, and I also think Javier Assad, he's not as good as Fetty. So I think they have the pitching advantage and the offense advantage. So I'm going to take the Cardinals, here on the road.
Yeah, Fetty's been I know when he was with the White Sox, he was really good in their home games, and on the road he did struggle. I tend to give myself at least a 1 or 2 starts if a pitcher is with a new team, but that also can be an advantage for a team that hasn't seen a guy like Eric Fetty, because he was obviously with an American League team, and I know now that every team plays every team with the schedule change that they did make I believe it was prior to last year, but Cardinals are they're in a good stretch right now, right? They've climbed into this NL Central battle here. They've won, 2 games in a row here. They haven't been too bad on the road. They're playing 500 baseball on the road there, but I think it's an opportunity probably here for the Cardinals to, get this first game against the Chicago Cubs here. So I'm with you on the Cardinals here, minus 112 on the money line with Eric Fetty on the mound. Before we get over to the next game on the schedule, let me quickly remind everyone about Sports Gambling Podcast with Sean and Ryan. Like I mentioned, football season kicks off tonight with the Texans and the Bears in the Hall of Fame game. And you know what? The boys over on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network are in the midst of their 32 NFL team previews. As a bonus, each team preview will include a code word. Submit the 32 code word phrase, and you could be the lucky winner who gets a $500 NFL Circa Future Bet. Also, make sure you guys subscribe wherever you do get your podcast and on the SGPN app. All right, we'll continue here getting into the Friday night schedule. We'll kick it off here with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are in Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. There will be Brendan Pfaadt going to start here for the D-backs and Luis Ortiz for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The D-backs are a minus 134 road favorite here, plus 114 on the money line for the Pirates. Total is set at 8.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for D-backs and Pirates?
Yeah, I'm going to take a shot here with the home dog. I actually made them the minus 120 favorite here at home. Luis Ortiz, he's been really good at home. Only one poor start against the Rays in June. And, I thought he pitched well in his last start against the D-backs. Now getting them again, but at home. The other one was on the road, so I think that was kind of why he kind of blew up a little. But here at home, I think this could be a better spot for him and the Pirates. And Brendan Pfaadt, he's looked good, but the Pirates were able to get 5 runs off of him in his last start. So I think if the Buccos could have a similar type game, they have been able to score 4+ runs in 5 straight games. So offense has actually been there for the Pirates. They just need better with their bullpen. So I understand not taking them. The bullpen, it does worry me sometimes, but I think this is a situation where Ortiz is the better pitcher, not the better lineup, but I do think at home, Luis Ortiz may be able to limit the D-backs bat. So maybe first 5, you want to take the Buccos, but at this plus 114 price, I got to take the home dog here early.
Yeah, the Pirates were in town here in Houston. They were able to put up some runs and actually won that series against the Astros early in the week here. And now they're carrying that momentum back here to their home field as a home underdog here. And you take a look at the 11 road starts that Brendan Pfaadt has made thus far for the Snakes. 4-7 are the D-backs in those 11 starts there. So I like the home underdog here. I think they can carry that momentum into, back home, like I mentioned here against the Diamondbacks. And again, Pirates right now, they're also 6 games back of the NL Central Division, maybe even, who knows, possibly competing for a wild card spot in that National League, where they're only 2.5 games back of the Diamondbacks here. So this is going to be a big series for both these teams, especially for a wild card implication. So we'll see how it pans out here, but definitely on the Pirates here with you in this first game between the D-backs and the Pirates. Getting over to the next game on the schedule, we'll go over to the Kansas City Royals. They are going to be in Detroit against the Tigers. Great pitching matchup here. Cole Ragans getting the start here for the Kansas City Royals, and it'll be Tarek Skubal for the Detroit Tigers. Tigers are a minus 118 home favorite here. Even money on the money line for the Royals. Total is to that 6.5 in this game. And we saw a lot of, trade speculation around Tarek Skubal. Eventually, I think the Tigers did make the right decisions by not trading him. But obviously, he's been the odds-on Cy Young favorite in the American League for a reason, right? And you take a look at the 10 home starts that he's made for the Detroit Tigers. 8-2 straight up are the Tigers in those spots. 7-3 on the run line. And they're actually 70% towards the over. 7-3 to the over in Tarek Skubal's home starts there. I want to say I think Mal has Cole Ragans for strikeout leader, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think somebody on our pod here does as well. But I like the Tigers in the spot. If it's first 5 innings with Tarek Skubal, he could probably go 6 to 7 innings here. You take a look at Cole Ragans on the road this season. 2-7 straight up are the Royals in his 9 starts on the road. 7-1-1 towards the under. So the offense really isn't showing up for him on the road here. So I'm gonna back the Cy Young front runner right now, Tarek School. I think we're getting a cheap price here, despite it being against the Royals. Give me the Tigers money line -118 here, D-Rock.
Yeah, he's been great all season, especially at home. He's only allowed more than 2 runs one time, and it was back. I think it was his second or third start at home. So, like you mentioned, 8-2 straight up when Skubal pitches at home this season. And Skubal, he's had 2 starts against his Royals team this season, and overall, I thought he pitched fine. One was good; it was at home, and the other one, he got hit a little bit, but that was on the road. And Cole Ragans' last 2 starts haven't been the best. So, I know they just swept the White Sox, but how much can we really take from that? They've lost 17 games in a row. So I know the offense has kind of went MIA for the Tigers, but like you mentioned, they actually give Tarek Skubal some run support. And, just 4 runs scored in the last 3 games. But I agree. I think this could be a really good spot for them. Should be a low scoring. I agree with the total. I made my total 6.8. Vaguely lean over, but I do think it'll be a low scoring game. I like the angle first 5. I would take first 5. I made him a -145 favorite, so -118, -116, whatever you could get. But I like the Tigers here at home as well.
Love it. All right, next game on the schedule. Moving along here to the Milwaukee Brewers. They are in the nation's capital to take on the Nationals. Looking at the lines for this game, I am seeing Frankie Montas getting his first start here for the Brewers. And it'll be Jake Irvin here for the Washington Nationals. Brewers are a -118 road favorite here. Even money on the money line for the Washington Nationals. Total is set at 9.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Brewers and Nationals?
Yeah, I don't really feel confident backing either side. Jake Irvin, he's been inconsistent. He just got rocked by the Brewers a few starts ago. And Frankie Montas, he hasn't been good at all in the month of July. So I think we could see some runs in this game, especially the way these 2 pitchers have been pitching. I agree with the total 9.5. I set mine at 9.7, so I do agree with the over. I just don't really trust the Nationals right now. They don't have a good bullpen. They just gave up 17 runs the other night to the D-backs. The Brewers, they have a top 10 lineup. They scored 6 runs in just 4 innings against Irving last time out. So we'll have winds blowing out in the nation's capital. Should be a windy night in DC on Friday. So -118, if that's still a price, that's fair. I did make the Brewers a -125 favorite. So I lean Brewers and I do lean over. I agree. I think we'll see some runs here.
Yeah, I like the over. I mean, like you mentioned, not sure if I can back either one of these pitchers right now. Frankie Montas in the past 3 starts, 5 earned runs, 7 earned runs, 4 earned runs. Strikeouts have been there, but walks are also a huge concern for him. He's walked at least 3 batters in 4 of his last 5 starts. And, like you mentioned, Jake Irvin had that bad start against the Brewers in Milwaukee back on July 14th, where he allowed 6 earned runs over 4 innings pitched, 7 runs overall, and 2 home runs here. So, like you mentioned, if the winds are blowing out, you could see runs being put up in this game here. So, yeah, I'm with you on the over 9.5. I really couldn't bring myself to a side here in this game, but definitely looking at the over. I think this may go to 9 if you want. If there are 9s out there, I'd definitely get on the 9. But right now, FanDuel has it at 9.5 at +102. Next game on the schedule will go to a AL Central battle between the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees. Looking at the starters for this game, I've seen Kevin Gausman getting the start here for the Blue Jays, and it will be Marcus Stroman going up against his former team in the Blue Jays. Getting the start here for the Yankees. Yankees are a overwhelming -178 home favorite here, +150 on the money line. For the Blue Jays, total is at 9 in this game here. And Kevin Gausman's been a pitcher this season that he struggled in Toronto for whatever reason. And you kind of look at his splits. 11 starts at home, 3-5 with a 6.39 ERA. On the road this on the road this season, 10 starts, 6-3 with a 2.34 ERA. So I mean, night and day difference there as far as his home and road splits thus far, at least this season. And you take a look at his numbers against the Yankees throughout his career, 10-9 with a 3.51 ERA. I mean, that dates all the way back to when he was all the way back with the Orioles back in 2013. But D-Rock, correct me if I'm wrong, he hasn't made a start against the Yankees since 2022. And that's what I'm seeing right now. I'll have to double check that. But Marcus Stroman, he's been a guy that has been the opposite, the same as Kevin Gausman, right? He's been really good on the road, and he struggled at Yankee Stadium. I mean, it seems like the Yankees have also turned it around offensively. I think it dates back to that series against the Red Sox, and they carried that over against the Phillies, where they're able to win that series. So it seems like that slump that the Yankees were in, looks like they've kind of snapped out of it. So I say all that. I think that runs can still be put up in this game. I like the over in this game. If you want to look at a Yankees team total to go over, or both, or full game to go over 9, I'm not sure if I'm still comfortable laying that minus 178 price with Marcus Stroman and the Yankees, but I do like the over in this game.
What was the question? Who, if Kevin Gausman has pitched against the Yankees?
The last time he pitched against the Yankees, I see back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
He has 3 starts against them this season.
Okay, so maybe I didn't. You know what? I didn't flip the page because there's a second page there. So yeah.
Oh, good. Good. I thought I was looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. And just to go off of that, this season, Kevin Gausman 0-3 against the Yankees, and the over is a perfect 3-0 in those 3 home starts. Those 3 starts against the Yankees.
Yeah. For me, Yankees 5 wins in a row, kind of crazy, and your boy Josh Chisholm, he's definitely given this team the boost they desperately needed. You could tell it's like he brings like this kind of confidence or swaggerness to the team, and they needed that. I only made the Yankees a minus 150 favorite here. Truthfully, the Yankees should win this game, but at home, I am more comfortable with the total. I love the over, maybe even a team total over for the Yankees. I do think we'll see some runs here. My total came out to 9.2. So Yankees offense has woken up a big time. If we get 4.5, I take the team total over here. They've scored 7+ runs in 6 straight games, and now they get Kevin Gausman, who in 3 starts, they've scored 5+ runs in. So with the amount of success the Yankees have had against Gausman, with how bad the Blue Jays bullpen is, I think we could see some runs here for the Yankees at home in that Little League field. So, yeah, give me the team total. I actually like that a little better than the full game.
Yeah, Gio mentioning right now, if you have ESPN bet available, they have 4.5 for the Yankees team total. A little bit of juice at minus 125, but I can't see them getting 5 runs here against Kevin Gausman and the Toronto Blue Jays. All right, Dylan, before we get into the next game on the schedule here, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy just launched Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 pick'em entries and then go streaking. If you can get a 11-0 run, you can win 1,000x. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with 15 million in prizes. And you can now use specials and boost on all flex entries. So sign up today with promo code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code MLB SGPN. And we're also brought to you by OddsJam. OddsJam is your one-stop shop for beating the sports books. OddsJam uses millions of data points across every U.S. and Canadian sports books to show you the best value plays for your money. Their line shopping tool shows you the best price for any bet you want to make across countless sportsbooks, not just DraftKings and FanDuel, but even BetOnline, Bovada, Cut, and many more. Their arbitrage tool will find opportunities where you can bet both sides of the same prop on different sportsbook to guarantee a positive ROI. The new fantasy tool features the highest EV plays relative to the sportsbook odds, allowing you to crush sites like Underdog Fantasy. And they even have a tool for finding the best sign-up bonuses. If you're interested in trying out OddsJam, you can get a 7-day free trial by using my link below. And don't forget to enter promo code SGPN to get 35% off in the first month of your subscription. Again, that's oddsjam.com. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We'll get over to the next game on the schedule. We'll go over to the Baltimore Orioles. They are visiting the Guardians in this weekend series. Looking at the starters for this game, I am seeing Dean Kremer getting the start here for the Baltimore Orioles and Carlos Carrasco getting the start here for the Guardians. Orioles are a minus 124 road favorite here, plus 106 on the money line for the Guards. Total is set at 9 in this game here. And we saw the moves that the Orioles made up until the trade deadline, honestly. And it seems like it's benefited them, at least thus far, post All-Star break as well. They've won 3 out of their last 4 games. They won each of the last 2 games against the Toronto Blue Jays, 6-2 and 10-4. So seems like the offense is humming a little bit right now for this team. Dean Kramer hasn't been too bad over his last couple starts here. The Orioles have lost back-to-back starts that he has made. He had a great outing against the Padres in his last start, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, but the bullpen then came in and absolutely blew it because they gave up another 8 runs after Dean Kramer left in just 3 innings pitched. And you also take a look at his numbers against the Guardians throughout his career. Hasn't been very good. He's made 3 appearances, 0-2 with a 6.23 ERA. But I feel like, number one, the Guardians are reeling a little bit right now. They've lost 2 straight games, which is against the Tigers. The offense only scored 2 runs over the past 2 starts, and that wasn't even going up against the ace of the Detroit Tigers there, Tarek Skubal, as we talked about earlier. So I think the offense could continue having success here for the Orioles. I would look at them full game here, maybe their team total to go over as well. You get all 9 at bats. Or if you want to look at it in the first 5 innings, we know how great their bullpen has been for the Guardians, but I would look at the Orioles side here. D-Rock, what do you got?
Yeah, both teams playing really well. They both won 4 of the last 5 games, but I guess I just have a bad taste in my mouth. I really don't trust Cookie Carrasco at home or on the road. He's given up 19 runs in the last 25 innings in the month of July, and the Guardians have lost his last 3 starts. So I know they've been winning, but they haven't really been scoring a ton of runs either. So I don't really trust their offense. Meanwhile, Dean Kramer, he's pitched much better on the road than at home this season. The Orioles bats, they've seemed to woken up as well against the Blue Jays. 31 runs in that 4-game series, while, like I said, the Guardians, they've struggling to score some runs. So I trust the offense, the pitching better right now for the Orioles. I think it's a short price. I agree. I'm going to be on the Orioles here on the road.
All right, we'll move it along to the next game on the schedule. The San Francisco Giants, they are in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. Looking at the pitching matchup for this game, I am seeing it'll be Andrew Abbott getting the start here for the Reds. And for the Giants, I don't see a starter quite yet. Do you see a starter for the Giants here, D-Rock?
Yeah, it should be Kyle Harrison for them.
Yeah. Kyle Harrison getting the start here for the Giants. The Reds are a -118 home favorite here. Even money on the money line for the Giants. Total is set at 9 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Giants and Reds?
Yeah, I would actually take a total. I would lean under 9. My total came out to 8.7. We've seen a lot of low-scoring games between both of these teams. Both have gone under their 4 of their last 5 games. And, typically Great American Ballpark is a hitter's ballpark, but the Reds have been an under team at home this season, surprisingly enough. 29 and 23 towards the under at home this season. And I think Andrew Abbott has kind of been serviceable at home. 4 of his last 5 starts at home have gone under and been low-scoring games. And Kyle Harrison, he's had a nice start against this Rays club back in May, only allowing 3 runs in 5 innings. I guess my one worry, I just hope the Reds don't get to that Giant bullpen, because that Giant bullpen is not good. If they don't and they struggle to score some runs, I think we could see a lower scoring game here, maybe like a 5-2, 5-3 type game. But 9 just seems a little too high, so I'm going to take the under here.
Yeah, you mentioned about the unders for Andrew Abbott in his 9 home starts that he has made for the Reds, 7-1-1 towards the under in those 9 starts for him. And Kyle Harrison, he's been consistent both at home and on the road, posting ERAs of sub-4, 3.91 on the road, 3.47 in San Francisco. But Andrew Abbott, I want to mention this one more before we move on. Did have a start earlier this season against the Giants, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs in that game. And I want to say that game ended up going under as well. Yeah, it was a 4-2 victory for the Reds in that game over the Giants there. So I like the Reds in this spot, and I also agree about the underplay that you have in this game, especially that stat there with Andrew Abbott being 7-1-1 towards the under in his home starts thus far this season. We'll move it along here to the next game on the schedule. We'll go over to 2 NL East teams. The Miami Marlins, they are in Atlanta to take on the Braves. Looking at the starters for this game, I am currently seeing Spencer Schwellenbach get the start here for the Braves. And I am seeing undecided right now, or TBD, for the Marlins. Do you have a picture for the Marlins there, D-Rock?
Yeah, I think they pushed back Sean Anderson. So I think it's going to be Sean Anderson.
Okay. Sean Anderson get the start here for the Miami Marlins. The Braves are a the Braves are a minus 270 home favorite here, plus 220 on the money line for the Miami Marlins. Total set at 9 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Marlins and Braves?
Yeah, another total for me. 9 seems just kind of high if it's still there. If it is shown out, Anderson going for the fish, my total came out to 8.3. So even at an 8.5, if it goes down, I still would lean under. The Braves have been a dead under team at home all year, 32-17 toward the under this season. And surprisingly, Spencer, he's pitched really good in the month of July. Only one start where he gave up more than one run. And get this, last 8 starts for Spencer have all gone under the total. So a lot of low scoring games when he's on the mound. He's actually been serviceable. That's been I guess the key, or the common factor for this Braves team. Their pitching hasn't been the problem this year. It's been their offense. It really hasn't been to the Braves standards or what we've been accustomed to seeing in past years. So I like Spencer on the mound, and the Fish, they've been feisty offensively as of late, but I think Spencer Swollenbach will be able to limit their bats tomorrow at home. I think we can see another low-scoring games, 8 straight low-scoring games for the Braves and Spencer Swollenbach. So I'm going to take the under 9. 9 seems a little high.
Yeah, 9-1 towards the under in Swollenbach's 10 starts he's made thus far this season for the Braves. I know TVDBJ, I know you've noticed whether the Marlins bats are actually have woken up a little bit, but we'll see if that transpired. Again, they're going to be in warmer temperatures down there in Atlanta as well. So I feel like there's some value here on the Marlins, as crazy that may sound. Plus 220 right now. I know they got a couple wins in there against I think they were facing the Brewers earlier this week, weren't they, if I'm not mistaken? Sorry, they had Tampa, and then they had the Brewers over the weekend. They won 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. They split the series against the Tampa Bay Rays earlier this week. So if you want to play the first 5 for Marlins, I couldn't talk you off of that. I think that might be worth a look here, but would be behind the under in this game between the Marlins and the Braves. Moving along to the next game on the schedule, we've got the Boston Red Sox. They are in Arlington to take on the Rangers. Cutter Crawford slated to get the start here for the Red Sox, and for the Rangers, I am seeing TBD. Who do you see there, D-Rock, for the Rangers?
Yeah, for the Rangers, I have Jose Urena, probably like a bullpen type game.
Yeah, Jose Urena then for the Rangers. Red Sox are a minus 124 road favorite here, plus 106 on the money line for the Rangers. Total set at 8.5 in this game. And Cutter Crawford, early on in the season, was having a fantastic season for this Red Sox team. And then I think it was the month of June, and it carried over to July, where it was the month of June where he was absolutely terrible. He got off to a great start in the month of July. He had the Marlins, the Yankees, and the Royals, and he had only allowed 1 earned run in those 3 starts where he went 20 innings. But back-to-back starts, and again, it was against the Dodgers, it was against the Yankees. He's allowed 11 earned runs and just 9 2/3 innings pitched here. Will the Rangers offense be able to get to him? It's a possibility. And the Red Sox offense has been hot as well, right? I mean, we've seen them being able to put up runs. Defensively, this team has just been an absolute mess for the Red Sox here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is another game where we do end up seeing runs between these two teams. I'll lean here with the over 8.5. As far as a side, I'd lean the Rangers, but I don't love it. But I do think that we end up seeing runs in this game here, D-Rock.
You don't really believe in the Red Sox. I actually like them in this spot, minus 124. I made them a minus 140 favorite. I'm just not in the business of backing the Rangers right now. Losers of 4 of the last 5 games. It was a tough road trip for them. Meanwhile, the Red Sox, they perform much better on the road. I actually like trusting the Red Sox on the road rather than at Fenway this season. And you're right. Cutter Crawford, he started the season really good. He had that hiccup in June, coming back around in July a little bit. I think he's been good, outside of that, his last start against the Dodgers. I think he's been really good. And against Jose Urena and the Rangers bullpen, bottom 5, bottom 10 bullpen in the league. I do think this is a good spot. It's a short price. Might be a trap. I agree on the over. I made my total 8.9, so I do think we'll see some runs here. But you got to imagine the Red Sox, they need to win this game. This is the game that they should win. So I do favor it at this price, but I agree. I like the over as well.
Yeah, a lot of these series this weekend have a lot of implications for wild card, right? And I think this is another one between these two teams. Red Sox 2 games behind the Royals right now. The Rangers are I think the Rangers, if they want to get into the playoffs, it's probably going to have to be either they're going to have to go on an incredible run or they're going to have to catch the AL West, because right now they're 8 games out in that wild card versus they're only 4.5 games out in the division behind the Astros right now. So we'll see if the Rangers can pick it up here, because they're going to have to do it sooner rather than later if they want to have any hopes of making the playoffs. All right, before we continue the conversation here for the Friday night schedule, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Rhythm. If you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, then you're missing out. They just predicted a bunch of winners for the 3M Open, and their football models are about to drop. You can even customize your own betting models easily using Rhythm tools. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And also, don't forget about the best handicapping contest happening over at Circa Survivor and Circa Millions over at the Circa Sportsbook. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you'll feel if you win your office survivor pool but didn't enter the Circa Survivor. Don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football? Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go hang out with Sean and Ryan and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through August 24th. Use promo code SGP15 to save 15% off of your hotel room for sign-up weekend. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. They even have a deal with a proxy. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com. Again, that's proxy.footballcontest.com to save $50 off your with their proxy service. Make sure you use promo code SGP to get that $50 off. Again, promo code SGP gets you $50 off of the proxy service by going to proxy.footballcontest.com. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the schedule, we'll go over to your Mets. We'll head to the West Coast here. They are in Anaheim to take on the Angels. Actually, no, we'll go back. I missed a couple games there on the schedule, but we'll go back to those. Mets will start Paul Blackburn here for the New York Mets. He is making his debut for this team. And for the LA Angels, I am again seeing TBD here. D-Rock, who do you have for the Angels?
It should be Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Anderson get the start here. Yeah, I see Tyler Anderson now. It just popped up for the LA Angels. Looking at the lines for this game, the Mets are a -136 road favorite here, +116 on the money line for the Angels. Total is set at 9. And we've talked a lot about Paul Blackburn on the pod. We did say that eventually he was going to be traded to a contending team. Lo and behold, he is going to Mets, Dylan's beloved Mets here. Hopefully he can help out that rotation here, D-Rock. But what are your thoughts on Paul Blackburn to the rotation, and then take us into the game as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great pickup, I thought. We'll see how he does after the, coming off that injury. He's had one start. Hopefully he can turn into recent form. But I think it's a good addition. I like the moves that the Mets made. And, most of the time we've had Blackburn Day, it wasn't with my team. And now I'll be able to watch it every time. So interesting. I think it's a good addition. So hopefully he helps out. And it's just a killer. I mean, Senga missing the whole season now. I mean, that first start, he looks so good, and then it's just like someone shot him from this fucking stadiums. It was just awful to see, but hopefully he's all right, and hopefully he could make a speedy recovery to next season. But yeah, the debut of Paul Blackburn, like I said, I like the pickup for the Mets. Hopefully he can be productive since coming back from his injury. His last start was actually against this Angel team. He did give up 4 runs, but the A's were actually still able to win that game. Now he's on the Mets, who have one of the best scoring teams on the road. So I think he'll be better off with this team. He'll definitely have a better average ERA and record. And Tyler Anderson is someone I really want to back on the road, not at home. On the road, he's given up 3+ runs in 4 straight home starts. Angels just 1-3 straight up in those 4 home starts. So I think the Mets continue to roll. Like you said, this is a series that the Mets need to win, right on the outside looking in of that NL wildcard race. So yeah, the Mets, they need to keep winning, and against a team that's out of it, they need to win. So I'm going to take the Mets -136. I made them a -140 favorite. So
yeah, Tyler Anderson, like you mentioned, at home, 12 starts, 5-7 straight up are the Angels. I know they've been swinging a better bat. But again, like you mentioned, this is a big series here for the Mets. And I think that Paul Blackburn facing this team in his previous start, I think is only going to help him because he'll be familiar with the lineup, kind of correct the mistakes that he did make in that game. And now he also has the offense of the Mets, like you mentioned, has been swinging a very good bat as of late to back him here. So, maybe the Angels get out early, but again, do you really trust the bullpen? Honestly, you can say that for either team here, but yeah, I'd be on the Mets side here, -136. If you want to take a look at a team total over, excuse me, for the Mets as well. Couldn't talk you off of that. Some Angels news here. TVDBJ dropping. Trout has another torn meniscus. Reported about 13 minutes ago. I think it might be just
I was just going to ask you, is it time for him to retire? I mean, he's one of the greatest players, but he can never stay on the field. It's actually really sad.
I'm probably in the minor here, or when it comes to the greatest all-time conversation, Mike Trout names doesn't pop up in my head.
Really? Why not? I think based on talent alone, obviously he can't do anything in the playoffs, but just naturally talent, he's one of the best outfielders I've ever seen.
It's just because you take a look at since the 2020 season. I know we had a shortened year. He played 53 games, played 36 in 2021. He played 119 in 2022. Last year, he only played about half a season. This season, only 29 games. So he's just been injury riddled. And look, yeah, when he's on the field, obviously one of the best. The swing, he makes it look so effortless, right? And the numbers are obviously going to be there to back him up, especially earlier in the season. But I think and I've said this a lot of times when we talked about Mike Trout, despite being such an amazing talent, the best thing you can do for your team is be available. Yeah, and he just hasn't been able to be there for his team over the past 4 to 5 seasons. So I'm probably in the minority there. People already think I'm crazy, but it's just the fact that injuries have riddled him. And maybe it's time for him to move on from the Angels. Maybe there's something in the water there in Anaheim. I don't know.
To think that they haven't traded him is crazy to me because they're not competitive. They're not. I know we've been high on them in our futures for the last 2 years. I know Minty, she was high on them as well. But at a certain point, I think Trevor makes a good point. Do they just DH him and have him not play the field because he always gets hurt?
But even then, if he's running down bases or turning the corner or whatever the case might be,
he's just frail.
Yeah, at this point, it's just he's frail. I want to see how old is he as well.
He's in his 30s. He can't be that old.
He's probably, I want to say he's 30. He's only 32. He just turned 32 in August. So, he still has probably maybe another 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead of him. He can still swing the bat. So, we'll see what transpires from him. Obviously, I don't want him to retire, but he's still a great talent. And
I also don't want him to go to Philly because he's from the South Jersey area, and if he comes to Philly, I would have to hate him.
Can you just imagine Harper and
Harper and
Trout are the same line?
Oh my God!
All right, so let me go back. I missed 2 games here in the Central Time Zone, I should say, or at least the Central teams. Start here with the Tampa Bay Rays. They are in Houston to take on the Astros. Shane Baz getting the start here for the Tampa Bay Rays. And Yusei Kikuchi making his debut for the Houston Astros. Astros are a -146 home favorite here. +124 on the money line for the Tampa Bay Rays. Total set at 8 in this game here, D-Rock. What are you thinking about the Rays and the Astros?
Yeah, I jumped on the opening total of a 7.5. I took that over immediately. Even now at an 8, I still would take the over. I made my total 9.1. So, both teams, they've been involved in high scoring games recently. Both clubs 6-4 towards the over their last 10 games. And now Kikuchi finally has a good offense behind him. And, I think they could get to Shane Baz. He hasn't really been tested on the road. This is definitely going to be his hardest game on the road for him this season. And in Houston, at home, they just absolutely raked the ball at home, Houston. So I just don't think this is a good spot for the Rays. And I think me and Scott last week, we were talking about how we just don't trust this offense for the Rays to be competitive right now. So I do think we'll see some runs. I think they'll be able to get a couple off Yusei Kikuchi, about 2 to 3. But I do think we'll get enough to get over this total. So even at an 8, I still would take the over here.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off the over. I'm not sure. I didn't like the move that they made for Kikuchi, honestly. He's just been also a guy that's really been inconsistent throughout his career. And I think it's more inconsistent than consistent for him. Maybe he's able to turn around with the Astros and the pitching staff or the pitching coaching there, but I didn't think this was a move that would get them over, like put them into like serious World Series, contention. Because we've seen in the past, like they went out back in 2017, traded for Justin Verlander, brought him back again last year. Mm-hmm. Still don't know when he's going to be back, and they've just been dealing with a lot of injuries in that pitching rotation as well. I know the offense is going to be fine because this group has been together for a long time, but anytime we do talk about winning a World Series, it always comes down to pitching, and I just don't think the Astros offense, the pitching rotation is it right now. So, yeah, I like the call on the over in this game. I'd lean to the Astros, but again, it just makes me nervous really backing Kikuchi at a minus price. And especially it being his first start in an Astros uniform. We'll see how it pans out, but I think the over would be the look here for me here as well. Getting over to the next game on the schedule, we'll go over to those Chicago White Sox. They are in Minnesota to take on the Twins. Getting the start here for the White Sox will be Davis and Martin, and Joe Ryan getting the start here for the Minnesota Twins. Twins are a $3 favorite here, plus 245 on the money line for the Chicago White Sox. Total is at 8.5. I think this might be one of those games where I should mention the run line. Twins minus 1.5, minus 140, and plus 1.5, plus 116 for the White Sox here. And losses just keep piling on. And I know TVDBJ mentioned earlier, I think he had just sent me something on Twitter. I'm just going to go ahead and checking this out on MGM right now. They're offering odds on when the next regular season win is going to be for the Chicago White Sox. And it goes from plus 185 starting tomorrow, and the odds increase and increase. He said he put $20 down that their next win is going to come after August 15th, which is at 101 right now. But I'm not going to think about this twice here, D-Rock. I'm on the Twins minus 1.5 until the White Sox actually win a game.
Yeah, not much on this game, Munaf. But the White Sox on a 17-game losing streak. Shout out Trevor. I did just put in a nice little pizza bet. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks we could all become rich like Mal. But even at a plus 245, I still can't take a flyer on the White Sox. Even the run line minus 130, it's just no real value. Maybe a parlay. I'm not a parlay kind of guy, but I guess if you have to make a bet, 8.5 does seem a little high. I made my total 7.9. I guess I would lean under if anything, but to be honest, Munaf, this isn't a game where I'll probably have any action. So I think we could find other spots where we could bet our money, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, just bet the minus 1.5. If they win by 1, it's whatever. Maybe if your book offers at -1, maybe split a unit over the -1 and -1.5, and just check your bank or check your balance at the end of the night and see if it cash free. But
or just take Trevor's future.
Oh yeah, or do that and then just count down the days. Maybe just go into a cave till August 15th and see if they want a game up prior to that. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, let's get over to the next game on the schedule. 2 games left here, I believe, with lines. We got the LA Dodgers. They are in Oakland to take on the A's. I'm currently Gavin Stone getting the start here for the Dodgers, and it'll be Joey Estes getting the start here for the Oakland A's. Dodgers are a minus 176 road favorite here, plus 146 on the money line for the Oakland A's. Total is set at 8.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Dodgers and A's?
Yeah, this was actually a tough game to handicap because Joey Estates, he's been really good at home this season. In 5 home starts, he's only allowed more than 2 runs one time. On the road, it's a much different story, but at home, he's been serviceable, and it's not like the Dodgers have really been crushing the ball either. I don't really trust their offense right now, and Gavin Stone has struggled in the month of July. 4+ runs given up in 3 of his last 4 starts, so I don't know if they could keep up and win the game outright, but maybe look towards a team total over for the A's. If you could get a 3.5, I would play that over. I set my team total as a 3.8 for the A's. I think they could score 4 runs or 3 runs. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I would play it. Really, this is nothing I'd really get to the window, but yeah, A's team total.
Yeah, I think the A's were the most profitable team in the month of July, if I'm not mistaken. They have won 6 out of their last 10 games, and they have, I mean, they're still 20 games under 500, but I think we were all expecting the A's to be what the White Sox are this season, but it just tells you that the White Sox are 40 games back in the AL Central, and the Oakland A's, and I say just 12 games back, it's a 28 game difference between those two teams, and the Marlins are right in between that at 25 games behind, but they have 40 wins at least, where the White Sox right only have 27 wins. But yeah, at the moment, the Dodgers are struggling right now, right? I mean, they're just their standards, they've lost 2 games in a row. They're just 5-5 over their last 10 games. They're only 3 games above 500 on the road here, and I think there's a possibility, like you mentioned, that Gavin Stone, despite how good he's been during season long, that he could give up a couple runs here to the Oakland A's offense. They've been one of the better offenses over the last month, like I mentioned. And Gavin Stone's allowed at least 4 earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts as well. So I wouldn't be opposed to the over in this game at 8.5. Maybe see if an 8 pops up because there is some juice on that under. But that's the way I would look in this game. I'm not sure I want to lay that minus 176 price right now with the LA Dodgers. Getting over to the last game of the night, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies. They are in Seattle to take on the Mariners. Again, the start here for the Phillies will be, Tyler Phillips for the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Brian Wu getting the start here for the Mariners. Mariners are a minus 118 home favorite. Even money on the money line for the Phillies. Total is at 7.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for the last game of the night?
Yeah, I only made the Mariners a minus 110 favorite here at home, but I'll take the chance. I'll lay the extra 7 cents. I see minus 117 for the Mariners, and I'll take them at home. Phillies, they really haven't been playing all that well. They just got swept 4 in a row by the Yankees, 3-7 in their last 10. Hopefully they continue to lose and the Mets continue to win. But Mariners, they're still one of the best teams at home, 31-23 straight up. And the main reason I really like the Mariners here is I love Brandon Wu, especially at home. The Mariners haven't lost at home in Wu's 4 starts this season. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any of those 4 starts as well. Phillips, he's looked good too in his 4 starts. I do lean under 7.5. Seattle unders at home have been a cash cow for people. I do think we could see a lower scoring game. I know the offense isn't the best, but I do think they could sneak out a win against a struggling Philly team. So I'll take the momentum here with the Mariners right now. I'll take the home favorite.
Yeah, the Mariners in that first home game of a series have actually been really profitable. They're in 17 of those in 17 games. That first game at home of a series, they're 13-4 straight up. So they've done very well getting game 1 of a series. To get that series started. Brian Wu, like you mentioned, and at home has been absolutely fantastic for this Mariners team. He's 4-0, or the Mariners, I should say, are 4-0 straight up, 3-1 on the run line, 3-1 on the over there as well. So he's getting the run support. And like, TVDBJ mentioning as well that the Phillies are just, they're broken right now. I think that's the best way to put it. Offense is struggling right now. The pitching has struggled as well. And maybe they just ran into a hot New York Yankees offense, but they've lost 4 games in a row. They've only won 3 out of their last 10 games as well. Where Seattle, like I mentioned, that right now every game is going to matter for them because we talked about that AL East, right? Or sorry, AL West, where the Astros and the Mariners are, tied for the division lead right now. So it's going to be every single game is going to be important here. So I think this is a good time to take advantage of the reeling Phillies right now and be on the Mariners money line here minus 118. All right, so that's going to be the last game on the Friday schedule. The only game we didn't have lines for was the Rockies and the Padres. And the pitching matchup in that game is going to be Austin Gomber and Randy Vasquez. Quickly, D-Rock, did you have anything for that game you want to throw out there?
No, I didn't. Just because I didn't either. Just because I thought it was Martin Perez. I honestly didn't know it was Vasquez going, so I didn't have anything. But to be honest, Rockies are just like the White Sox, another team I really want no business backing right now, especially on the road. Padres, they've been playing much better as of late too, and they're really going for it too with the moves that they made as well. So, nothing, but you got to imagine they'd open up a huge favorite, maybe closer to a $2 favorite, maybe minus 180, minus 190. But probably nothing I'd really have any money on.
Yeah, Padres right now, 4.5 games back of the Dodgers. They've won 9 out of their last 10 games. So one of the hotter teams right now in the MLB. All right, so that is the schedule for Friday. Let's close it out strong here, D-Rock, with our lock and dog, and then we'll get into our daily dingers picks. You want to lead us off with your lock and dog?
Yeah, so for my lock, I am actually going to take that over in the Houston and Tampa Bay game. 7.5 or 8, whatever you could get, shop around. Like I said, for all the reasons, I just think it's too small, especially against a guy who's been inconsistent. I agree. I didn't think they needed to go out and get Yusei Kikuchi. Don't know why they really did. He's just been too inconsistent. And Shane Baz, he not a household name either. So I think we could see some runs in this game. So that is going to be my lock, over 8, minus 110. And for my dog, we'll go to the game we talked about earlier. I actually made him a favorite. I'm going to go against the red hot Diamondbacks. Give me the Pirates here at home with Luis Ortiz. Like I said, I made him a favorite, minus 120. So to get plus 114, I think they have the better pitcher. I'm not a big Brandon Pfaadt kind of guy as well. So if the Pirates offense could keep it going, score about 4 or 5 runs, give Ortiz some run support, I think they're live here. Maybe you want to take them in the first 5. Don't trust that bullpen. But, I like the Pirates here at home as my home dog.
Love it. Me and TVDBJ are in lockstep here. Give me the Yankees team total over 4.5. You get that right now on ESPN Bet. It's a little bit juiced at minus 125, but get on that as soon as you can. We talked about the struggles of Kevin Gausman. Despite how good he's been on the road, this Yankees offense is really raking right now. And I think this is the time to take advantage of it. With that, number one, the smaller ballpark, but we've seen these stretches for the Yankees, right? Where they have a red hot offense and it seems like they're unstoppable. Everybody's getting hits, getting home runs. And again, it's just more of a fade of Kevin Gausman as well. So Yankees team total over 4.5. For my dog, I like the Pirates there with you. I think there's some value on the A's there, whereas plus 146. I think it's going to be the Tigers run line minus 1.5. And let me see if I can find that because they're at plus 1.5 on FanDuel right now. But if you're able to find that minus 1.5 for the Tigers with Tarek Skubal, I think there's a good opportunity for him to go out and pitch well at home. We mentioned the numbers. He does get the run support as well. I think this will be something that now he knows that the trade deadline has passed, so he can not having to worry about maybe his name being in trade rumors or the case might have be, right? Because that mentality is a little bit different if your name is popping up in trade rumors and you're, odds-on favorite right now to win Cy Young. And despite him still being with the Tigers, I still think that he can go out and pitch well here, especially at home against his Royals team here. So I'll take the Tigers minus 1.5. They're Gio putting it up there for me. Plus 170. I think that's great value. A nice juicy dog for the Friday card over on ESPN Bet. Minus 1.5 plus 170 for my dog. All right, D-Rock, let's get into our daily dingers picks for the Friday card. Who do you have leaving the yard?
Yeah, so I'll go to a game that we talked about a little earlier in the card between the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Guardians. Going to fade my boy Cookie Carrasco. I'm going to take Gunnar Henderson to hit a home run. Gunnar Henderson, only 3 at-bats against Carrasco, but he is 3 for 3 in his career. Has a home run, 2 singles as well. Carrasco, he's given up 6 total home runs in the month of July, so he's been giving up the long ball recently a lot. And out of the 17 home runs he's given up on the year, 7 have come from lefties. Gunnar Henderson hasn't hit one since the home run derby, but, I do think he's due. I think this is a good opportunity to get number 29. Top 5 in the league still in home runs. So despite going 0 for not having a home run since the All-Star break. So I'm going to take Gunnar Henderson. I think he's due. Let's get 29.
I love it. All right. I'm not going to give out Aaron Judge because he's going to be plus 200 to hit a home run, but Aaron Judge has absolutely owned Kevin Gausman in his career. 11 hits, 5 of them have left the yard. I'll go to that first game of the day. I'm gonna go with Goldie, Paul Goldschmidt against Javier Assad. He's had 9 at bats against Javier Assad, 3 hits. 2 of them have left the yard, and I think that again, it's a little tricky because I feel like the wind is going to be blowing in this game. But if it's not too bad about the wind direction in this game, I think Goldie can really leave the yard here against Javier Assad. So I'll go with Goldie here to hit a home run in that first game. Hopefully we catch that one early to get the Friday betting card started. And hopefully we found some winners here for our listeners. Excuse me. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast. D-Rock, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, just, hopefully we gave out some winners. I know these are the dog days this summer, but, we're just about a little over a month left of the season, and we got the playoffs coming. So we're still locked in. We're going to give you some winners, and I guess just do the best job you can navigating. I know everyone's hyped that football's back, but baseball, I think, is a good sport where we can still make some money. So keep following along.
Yeah, 100%. We'll still be here, obviously, to the end of the season, getting into the playoffs here. So stay with us, and we'll still be grinding out winners. Make sure to follow D-Rock on Twitter. That's at Rock with 2 Ks, ROCKK24. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. More importantly, we're still on the march for 2,500 subscribers by the end of the MLB season. So we can only do that with you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel for the MLB Gambling Podcast, please go ahead and do so. You can follow us on Twitter as well at MLB SGPN, also on Instagram if you do have Instagram. That's going to be at MLB MLB Gambling Podcast over on Instagram. So give us a follow there as well. We'll be back tomorrow for the Saturday games in some form or fashion, so look out for us then. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.